Pretty soon, Westchester residents might have to pay a lot more for water. Recently, the town of Mount Pleasant sent out a notice informing all residents that they will be raising water rates in order to pay for infrastructure improvements. This would affect all residents who receive their water from a private well or the village. If it goes through, it would mean all affected residents would have to pay around $250 to $300 each month for the next 30 years. Matthew Ayala Lamons, an associate professor at Pace University, lives in one of these affected areas.
The town of Mount Pleasant is looking into putting in the water system. Is there are some individuals, some homeowners whose wells have dried up the last few years, especially as there's been more droughts. Digging a new well is very costly, around $15,000 or $20,000 to dig a new well. Those individuals, those homeowners have really wanted to push the town to investigate town water. So that $250 to $300 increase that you were talking about, that's actually a new fee that we would be paying. Those individuals who are already on village water and their water main would be replaced by this town water main, they would also have to pay that $250 to $300 increase. Eventually they would switch over from the village water to the town water. $250 to $300 is the infrastructure costs. It's not the cost of the water, it's actually the cost of putting in the water system. And that is estimated to be a 30-year time frame. So you have to pay that over 30 years. In the area that would be our district, I think it was like $2,900 a year for 30 years would be the payback on that. If you multiply 29 times 30, you're talking somewhere in the realm of somewhat less than $90,000 over 30 years, which is a substantial increase to, say, your monthly cost of your mortgage. I think the town has made the case recently that they've done this feasibility study. This is what the cost would be. It's sort of up to the homeowners in the districts to decide to push the town to go forward with the project or not. And then for us who don't have failing wells, we can just keep that in the back of our mind of, well, we have to have savings to fix our wells if need be in the future. You know, one other issue that has come up is that because there's no municipal water up on the hill, there's no fire hydrants up on the hill, so the fire services are making a point that it would be beneficial to them to have hydrants in the neighborhoods. Personally, rather, it's hard to weigh the benefits of that versus the financial implications. Right. Is this fair? And that is a very difficult question to answer. Up until recently, the well systems have worked. It seems like the drying issues do get fixed if you dig deeper. So unfortunately, the way it works out is in these well systems, if there's a failure or if there's a problem, the burden completely falls on the individual homeowner. But for the homeowners who own these homes for the next 30 years, there's a much higher financial burden of putting in the system. This project just is very expensive, and provided that you could repair the well or dig a new well, the cost-benefit analysis doesn't quite work out to the benefit of the homeowner at this point. It would be very fair to homeowners in 31 years, but I don't think it's particularly fair to the homeowners right now, but I don't know that the situation can be fair for the homeowners right now.
So, following this, we have a resident named Carmel who gives us an even deeper insight on the physical paperwork that Mount Pleasant has provided regarding these water bill infrastructure changes. Let's see what she has to say.
And what I can say is that the town has been very helpful. They really want to do what's right for the community and what the community wants. So from my understanding, I have here some of the things that are on their website that you can go find. It's a 70-page report. I didn't print out all 70, just kind of the summaries. What you can see is, and in my conversations with them, there are several residents have reached out to the town because, and in some cases, people's wells had gone dry. In other cases, a lot of repairs that need to be done to certain lines. And these lines, they're not owned by the village and they're not owned by Mount Pleasant. They were somehow installed many years ago, like more than 50 years ago. And when repairs are needed, the cost is borne by the residents. As a resident myself that's on a well, the only issue we have with the concept of public water is the cost. I don't think there's anybody that would necessarily argue against public water if there was no cost involved or a lower cost. So I think the crux of the problems are people are on public systems that are underperforming and administratively not owned by a village or a district, or there's some sort of ownership problem that results in the homeowners paying a lot of money to repair it and that they're not being maintained. On the other side, is the well situation. If a well fails, you have to drill a new well, and it can be costly. The solution here, which isn't necessarily a bad solution, is, well, let's form a water district and bring everybody public water. But again, I don't think it's the concept. I think it's the cost. Everyone is in the questioning stage. The residents are in the questioning stage. They want to find out more. A lot of people are very hungry to go to the meetings, really wanting to find out more about what this entails.
Public meetings will be taking place in the Town Hall courtroom in Valhalla on February 26th and 27th to discuss these changes. If you would like to learn more, we highly recommend you attend.